It's here, finally! You get that damned motivation or some huge reason to start going to the gym. But you're confused, scared even maybe. Because there's so much in the gym and you've seen people do all sorts of customizations to their diets to remain fit. You start wondering, where do I really start? Which equipment should I go to? Or what changes do I make in my diet to start seeing results in a flash? You start hopping around from fitness trainers to YouTube channels. Yeah, not like this one. This is where the search stops, right? Not this one. You start hopping around from fitness trainers to YouTube channels, trying to gain just enough knowledge for you to at least get started. Because real struggle to start करने में ही होता है, फिर तो हो ही जाता है, right? I used to get intimidated and confused all the time as a beginner as well, which is where I decided to extensively research about fitness and everything related to it. I know how you feel, that is why I'm here to present all of that information that I've gathered over the years in a very crisp and concise way, so that it makes your life much easier and well, so it gives me more views. So hang tight and watch this video till the very end, because this one is going to be a shitload of information in less than 10 minutes. Also, I am saying this before editing the video, so if this exceeds 10 minutes, I'm really sorry. After this introductory video in the beginner's playlist, there's going to be a series of videos which will include every piece of basic knowledge you need to be informed about, detailing different aspects of fitness in each video, right from your workout regime, nutrition plan, supplementation, recovery, etc., which will enable you to make your own plans and will not only give you a direction and help you out to start, but also give you logical explanations along the way, which will help you to understand how your body works and responds to whatever you do. This in turn will help you to accordingly modify or customize the regimes in your own convenient way that have been provided to you to help you achieve the body goals that you want, and not just stick to a rigid routine that has been prescribed by whoever your fitness trainer or YouTube inspiration is. So if you'd like a structured plan on how to go about fitness right from the start, I'd suggest you watch this one completely for an overview of the basics, and subscribe for detailed versions of all the underlying aspects in upcoming videos. Starting with the workout routine, you need to understand that since you're a beginner, your body and your muscles aren't used to bearing load at all. So if you start subjecting your muscles to some sort of weight, they might take some time to adjust to that kind of stress. Hence, it is highly advisable that you take your own sweet time in terms of getting to that desired level of intensity in the gym. A good week or two, in my opinion, where you lift weights only which you can lift relatively easily, and try perfecting your form first. Now, this is going to set your foundations right from the start, which is very, very crucial if you want to play this long term. Which leads me on to the question, how much weights should you actually lift? Well, as I already mentioned, for each exercise movement, you'll have to choose a weight which you can lift easily without putting a lot of stress on your muscles. This will obviously increase as you progress in the gym, but more on that in a later video. Also, rather than going for splits which are performed by experienced bodybuilders and powerlifters, for the initial few days, you should just stick to training all your muscle groups together just to send them all a signal. You didn't see that coming, did ya? Get used to it, babe. Basically, just to let them get used to lifting weights. Now, the major muscle groups which need training are your legs, which include your quads, your hamstrings, your calves, and your gluteus maximus. Then comes your back, your chest, your biceps, your triceps, your shoulders, and your core. A part of which is everyone's favorite, the abs. Okay, so basically if you're working out for, let's say, 5 days a week, then you need to mix all of these muscle groups together and perform a couple of sets for each of them almost every day. I mean, this is my personal suggestion. You can obviously go for any split you want according to your preference. A full body split is recommended because it will reduce the risk of injury, as you'll not be able to go overboard with a single muscle on any single day, and consequently all of these muscle groups will be fatigued only just enough for them to be able to recover well for the next session. Which leads me on to another very commonly asked question, that is, when should my next session be? Or basically, how many days a week should I work out for? Well, I won't say start working out for 7 days a week when it's been 21 years since you last worked out. Although this again does come down to personal preference and there's no magic number as such, but anything between 3 to 5 days per week is a good place to start. Which leads me on to another very commonly asked question, which is when should you actually work out during the day? As you might already have noticed, fitness does not require you to do things like come in at 7:15 in the morning on a Tuesday and only then will you be blessed with the fruits of muscle gain and fat loss. Although there are a few small intricacies and hence some pros and cons of working out at the start of the day versus towards the end of the day, which I obviously shall cover in another video, but the effects aren't nearly significant enough for you to think that it will affect your fitness journey adversely, especially during the start. Fitness just requires you to show up. No bullshit. There's a lot of fancy information available everywhere, almost really redundant from your perspective. You just need to get the basics right, do them well, do them regularly. Another thing you need to note is that it's very significant that you what was I saying? सॉरी, शायद अगली किसी वीडियो में याद आ जाएगा तो बता दूंगा, तो सब्सक्राइब करके रख देना. Moving on to the nutrition plan and diet part of things, all of you all must already have heard that protein is the most important holy grail if you want to build muscle, if you want to lose fat, for everything related to fitness in general. Although this is 100% true, a basic concept that you need to keep in mind is that you need to give your body enough time for it to be able to adapt to any certain new regime, be it exposing your muscle to physical stress or to a different kind of dieting stratagem, especially when you're starting out. Hence, a daily intake of 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight is the general rule of thumb, which is kind of widely accepted in the community. More on that coming later. This would then come out to 80 to 120 grams of protein if you're an 80 kilogram individual. But this is not where you should go directly if you're starting out today, and prior to this you've been having like 30 grams of protein per day. The reason behind this is that proteins are very complex structures made of branches of simpler units known as amino acids, and it's not the easiest for our bodies to break down these proteins during digestion. Protein digestion for this reason is a very bio-individual topic, and hence a sudden increase in the protein intake in your diet might or might not be taken very well by your body. Hence it is highly advisable that you slowly and gradually increase your protein intake from 30 grams to the desired levels just to be on the safer side. So for instance, you can follow a trajectory like consuming 40 to 50 grams of protein for the initial few weeks, then gradually increasing it to 60 to 70 grams for the next few weeks, and then similarly to 80 to 120 grams over the next month or so. Detailed take on this in the diet playlist coming out soon. Apart from the protein intake, the total calories you're consuming daily should also be in alignment with your goals. So for instance, if you're trying to lose weight and if you've not heard of it elsewhere, consuming lesser calories than you spend is the only way to go about it, to put it out simply. Okay, so this is a topic which requires an entirely separate video or even a separate playlist for itself, because this involves certain complexities in terms of calculating calories and staying in a caloric deficit, where you can do it via a simpler and a relatively more approximate approach as compared to a more precise but at the same time a little more tedious method as well. So please stay tuned for that as well. Not making things very complicated at the moment, I will recommend you to do two things. One is limit fried stuff from your diet and limit refined sugar from your diet. A reason to limit fried stuff is that it contains a lot of calories, because frying anything will soak in a lot of oil, and oil contains a lot of calories. I'll break down how many calories does oil and anything fatty in general has. And the reason for limiting refined sugar from your diet is that first of all it has empty calories. By empty calories I mean it will provide you with calories without providing enough value to your body nutritionally or from a health perspective. And secondly, it has a very addiction inducing effect in your mind. So basically, if you have a little sugar in your diet here and there, it will want to make you have more of it as you increase the intake. So it's a very domino kind of effect that it has on your mind. So to keep it short, try limiting fried stuff and refined sugar from your diet as much as you can for the initial few days. Easy peasy, right? Also drink more water if you're not doing that already. Make it a habit of reaching 3 to 5 liters of water every day. That's a good habit. Another video on this coming out soon. Damn. Okay, so that was it from my side for this video. This should be able to provide you with enough information for you to be able to start your fitness journeys from tomorrow. Now please don't tell me that I'll have to come out with a fitness motivational video for you to do that, which also kind of transparently gives you an idea about how fitness journeys usually are. Oh wait. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Happy being fine and looking forward to having you in the next one.